Hello everyone, this is just a voiceover to tell you that when I went to go edit this video, the other windows that pop up in Photoshop didn't appear in my screen capture. I don't know why that is, so you won't see everything that I'm doing, but hopefully you get the idea on how I make animated GIFs. So, I'm sorry. Today I'm going to show you how I make an animated GIF in Photoshop. Earlier in the month, I showed you how I make a frame-by-frame animation on a lightbox. I will leave that video in this video's description, and we're gonna begin. So, here we are in Photoshop. I got my canvas. I have the appropriate size that I need it to be, depending on what the size of the paper is. So I'm going to place embedded, and I'm going to get that scan. Here is the picture of all the scanned drawings that I made for this GIF that I am making right now. I'm going to transform it and rotate it as needed, counterclockwise. Here we are. And this is a GIF of a character getting hit in the face by a book. And then I'm going to Control L, and this opens up the levels. So because as you can see by these drawings, they don't look very good. The color is all wrong. They're too bright. So you go in here and you do 50, and then it darkens them a little. But then you go over here and you do 0.69, nice. And then you do okay. And that looks better. It looks a little darker. The contrast is much better. Control T to resize it. So I have this board of all the different frames. So some animations require me to use more scans. For this animation, it's very simple. It's only just one scan. So I'm going to enlarge it as needed, however big I need to make it. And I'm going to focus on the first frame. So I number these 1 through however many I needed, 10, on the top left corner of each drawing. So we're going to start with frame 1. It's a lot of enlarging and moving, but you want to make sure that the drawings fit inside the Photoshop canvas or frame that we have here. So that's good. I think that's good. You enter, it's there. So it's really good to know keyboard shortcuts, by the way. If you're working in Photoshop, it'll make your job a lot easier. So J selects the spot healing brush tool. And then you want to get rid of the numbers on the top left. So I'll just select over that and it disappears. And then here we got this black line. We might also want to get rid of that. That should disappear. It's gone. Excellent. So this, it looks good. So what I do, as you can see on the right, where we have all our layers, there's the background layer that we started off with. There's the layer that's scan 0144. So that was on this layer is what I placed, my scan of the 10 GIFs that we're working with. So I want to select that layer, and I want to Control J. Now this keyboard shortcut copies that. So it duplicated that scan 0144 layer. So It's the same thing. But I'm going to rename that copy frame 1. So that's frame, or first frame. So I want to go down to the scan layer where we placed the scan of all of our frames, and then we're going to move it to the second one. Here is frame 2, as indicated by the number 2. Now I like to go back and forth to make sure that it's perfect. Okay. That's good. You want to get rid of all the different things like hair and dirt and the number and this line. Okay, sometimes it doesn't want to behave, but what you can do is keyboard shortcut I opens up the eyedropper, select the white anywhere on here. It makes your color white, and then B for brush, and then you can just color over it there. So that's frame 1. This is frame 2. Oh, I can also, there's some more spots here that I can get rid of. Okay, so I do Control J again, and that copies this, frame 2. So now I'm going to rename it frame 2. And then you can move on to the third one. Here the book enters the frame. Sometimes, I guess what I can do, the grid kind of helps. So you can see how it's placed on here. And yeah, sometimes the drawings are not perfect. Like, I kind of quickly made this one just for the sake of the video, making this video. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We're gonna work with it. So I'm gonna clean it up, get rid of the 3. Okay, it doesn't want to get rid of the 3, so we're gonna just color it out. Also, another thing, if you don't want to use the grid, you can get rid of that. Control J, new layer, duplicate it. Frame 3. You can always take the last frame you did and turn down the opacity. And what that does is it makes it disappear somewhat. So it kind of looks like a ghost. I'll show you. So here is the frame 3, the one that you can barely see. And then underneath it is the layer that we're working with. I can't talk. So what you can see is what the last frame looked like, and then you can take what you're working with now and put it on top. This is what's known as onion skinning in animation, is where you can see the last frame that you did as a reference to what the frame comes next, the frame that you're working on now. So I'm going to move it in place. This looks about right. So I can take 3, move it back to opacity of 100. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, wait. Get rid of that. Get rid of the 4. Okay, so I fast forward, did all the frames, and now I'm on the very last one. So this is frame 10. I want to make sure it's perfectly lined up with 9. That looks good. And when I do that, there's really no point in duplicating or copying this layer and naming it frame 10. So I just take this very last layer and I just call it frame 10. I still need to clean it up. Gotta get rid of the 10 in the line. And that is it. So, on Giphy, which is the platform that I upload on, you have the option to either upload a GIF or upload a sticker. A sticker is just a GIF, but with a transparent background. There's nothing there. So you're able to take the GIF and you're able to place it on top of different things. You can pick your own background. So I will show you how to do that. So I go into the background layer, the thing that I first started off with, and I may fill it into color. So I go to image, no, edit, and then I go to fill, then I do color, and we'll just, I don't know, go blue. We'll fill it with blue. So this fills up with blue. Maybe blue wasn't a good idea, actually. No, we'll work with it. So let me zoom in here, and then let me open up I have to open up each different layer, each frame that I have here. And then I do W, and this opens up the quick selection tool. Which is right here. And then I'll just start selecting the different parts of the picture that is white. So pretty much anything that isn't the focal point of the GIF, which is the person and the book that's hitting his face. And I'll just delete it. And then the reason why I fill the background with a color is just so I can easily tell which parts of the frames have been deleted and which hasn't. So it makes it easier. Let me show you on the very top here. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a white line that is going along the top. So the white on top of the blue lets me know that it's there. So I might get the eraser and I might get rid of it. And I'll go around. It's really the only time that this is ever a problem is usually around the edges of the frame where there might be some white and you have to get the eraser and go around it. So if I want to make the blue background layer invisible, my picture just has a transparent background. So I'm going to go through each individual frame, like I said, W for quick selection tool, and get rid of the white, get rid of the background. And then sometimes there might be small dots. Let me show you. There was one up here. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Okay, yeah, right here. You just get your eraser and get rid of those. Clean up the edges. Transparent. Next one. Now for frames like this, where the impact is in the frame, and there's like different pieces of red, yeah, you just want to keep those in there too, and make sure that when you do the quick selection tool, that it does not get rid of them. You just want to make sure everything looks good enough. And then you want to get rid of the white edge on top. Yeah, so I'm going to fast forward now and do all this. Okay, so I deleted the background for every frame, and now it's time to make the GIF. So I always use blue when doing that, when deleting the background, because I feel it's easy to see if there's any white left. But I may, for this GIF, when I do make a background, I'd like to, let me see what I would like to use. I'm thinking maybe I make the background yellow. Okay, we'll go with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything, every single GIF. I want to make sure the eye icon is on everything, make sure everything is visible. And then I want to open up my timeline. What you could do is window, and then timeline is down here. And then you click on create video timeline, and that puts everything in here. So this is going to be the timeline for your video. Now I'm going to shorten these down to, I always either work with, have each frame be 0.02 seconds when I want it to go really quick, or I do 0.03 seconds. But for this one, we're going to do 0.03. And we're going to put all of them in the same layer, like this. Now for frames 1 and 2, they're the same. It's just the character just standing there, but I want him to stand there for a little while before the book enters the frame and hits him in the face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make copies of these. So I'm going to hold down Alt, have the first frame selected, and I'm going to drag it over. Then I'm going to take the second one and drag it over. And these are just making copies of them. So I'm going to do this twice. So now there is 6 frames where he's just standing there. And the first 2 frames, because they're different, it's going to make a boiling effect. What boiling is where lines in animation move ever so slightly, like they kind of go back and forth. So things are not just still in one single frame. So I'll show you what I mean later, but for now, let me put everything into this timeline. So each individual one, I shorten down to 0.03 seconds, and then I move it up into our video timeline. Okay, so now after I do that, I'm going to take my background layer and I'm going to leave it down there, but I'm going to shorten it to where it fits all my different frames on top of it. So I have this yellow background. So here, this is what I mean by boiling. Like he kind of moves back and forth between the first drawing and the second drawing, and then the book comes and it hits him in the face. So that's our animation. And it's just going to loop over and over again. So what you do is file, and then you're pretty much done at this point. Now you're just exporting it. So you do export, save for web legacy, and then here you go. It's loading up. Now, what I've learned that if you're not making a sticker, it's probably best, if you want to keep the quality of the GIF, to uncheck this transparency option. So, because it's not transparent, it has a background. But I will show you how to make the sticker here in a second. And then save. Oh, and you want to make sure that the looping option is forever, so it can keep going back and forth when you upload it online. It can keep repeating itself. So save. I'm just going to call it book. Then you have to let it. Okay, then it's done. So sticker, just select the background, delete it. That's it. It's transparent. File, export, save for web legacy, same thing, except this time you're just exporting it without the yellow background. And then you check the transparency option, and then same thing, save. Oh, wait. Sticker. And then it is done. Yep. So that was this video. That's how I make an animated GIF on Photoshop. Till next time. Bye. Hello, it is I again. Before I actually ended this video, I just wanted to show you the final product of the GIF that I had made. Since my screen capture wasn't able to show it, here it is. Thank you for watching. See you next time.